It's that time again where we talk about the best and worst of the year, and of course, being the sadist that I am, I'm going to be talking about the absolute bottom feeders of 2017. Now, I didn't see everything, so of course, maybe your least favorite or worst film of the year isn't on this list, but if it isn't, that's what the comment section on the bottom is for you to tell me how much of an idiot I am and how great the Emoji Movie was, because I didn't see it. I made someone else go see it. You should check out that review. It's on the website. I didn't see it. I have no intentions of doing so either. Without further ado, though, let's get to the top 10 worst films of 2017. And oh boy, are we about to start with a doozy. Okay, so a few years ago, my worst film of the year was a film directed by Terrence Malick. It was Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups sucks. It's really bad. It's very boring. Malick's back again with the same pretentious bullcrap. Except it's not as bad because now we get Austin in the music scene, and at least the music is good, and Patti Smith's in this thing. And you get Natalie Portman and Ryan Gosling. I'm sorry, not Natalie Portman. Yeah, no, she's in it. Yeah. Rooney Mara also. But lots of scenes of water, bull crap. Why is Michael Fassbender in this? I really hate this movie. I hate it so much. But I don't hate it as much as Knight of Cups. Let me get that straight, first and foremost. But Song to Song is awful. And for a movie called Song to Song, it had a ridiculous lack of actual musicianship going on. It's just more so about musicians, and oh god, just skip it. Oh, but the review is on the website, so maybe you want to check that out. Yeah, cool. So here's a movie about the Great Wall of China, and the lead is Matt Damon. What? So on top of that, let's go ahead and make the wall get attacked by giant creatures. That makes total sense, and so does the movie. You would think a movie built on action scenes with giant monsters would be so cool and so exciting. But oh my god, I fell asleep twice. How is this thing that boring? It doesn't make any sense. Not only am I talking about the movie itself, but the fact that it's that boring. Neither of those facts make any sense. They don't add up. What they do add up to, the math here, is that The Great Wall is a terrible film. And, skip it. If you even saw it on HBO, I feel sorry for you. There's so much more better stuff you could be doing with your day. Definitely don't check it out, yeah. Alright, so Chronically Metropolitan is chronically boring, chronically bad, and chronically uninteresting, on top of being, Metropolitan, and whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. This is a movie that has no interesting characters, doesn't tell us anything about them, and just kind of slogs around with hipster bullcrap. It takes a really bad movie, Person to Person, mixes it with another really bad movie, The Only Living Boy in New York, and makes this crap. I don't know if the filmmakers even knew what they were getting themselves into here, but Chronically Metropolitan is just a sorry excuse for a love story, a sorry excuse for a redemption tale, and in general, just a sorry excuse for wasting an hour and a half of your day. Okay, so they made a sequel to 50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades Darker. My god, it's bad. It's worse than the first one, and I did not think, in all of the things that could happen in this world, that you could make a worse movie than the original 50 Shades of Grey. But I was completely wrong. Let's take all of the, and I'm doing air quotes here, sexiness of the first movie. Let's kind of make that even more awkward. Let's shovel in some other crap about a love triangle and mystery and his ex-girlfriends and women who've been hurt by him, and let's go ahead and let's craft absolute shit. Cool. So laying the cards on the table here, we all know this guy's not a horror movie fan. It's just not me. It's not my thing. It's not what I do. When they're well made, I'm cool. I'm on board for it. Don't Knock Twice is not one of those movies. Katie Sackhoff and Lucy Boynton are wasted, and these are very talented women, especially Lucy Boynton, who is in my number 2 favorite movie of 2017, Sing Street. She's also in a really good horror movie that came out this year, The Black Coat's Daughter, which didn't quite make the top 10, but it's worth your time if you haven't checked it out. It's really good. And she's also in The Pretty Thing That Lives Under the Stairs, which is a Netflix film, and you know how I feel about Netflix films, and if you don't, hit me up on Twitter. We'll talk about that. It won't be a fun discussion for you if you like those. But it's not bad. We're going to get to that in a minute, actually, about Netflix films and what I think about them, because there's one of them on this list. It's just, these are all bad. These are really bad. Don't watch this movie. It's stupid. It makes no sense. Character motivations are It's close to none. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh man, animated movies can be so bad sometimes. Like, I didn't see the Emoji Movie, so I escaped that one, but I did not get the chance to escape Leap. Whew! I really dislike this thing. Not only are the characters stupid, the voice acting is subpar, the animation is even worse. None of this is just, like, interesting at all. It's like, we took this concept of, it's the hero's tale. This girl who wants to be a ballerina, and we just kind of said, hey, F it. Let's go ahead and shovel in some pop music and some Carly Rae Jepsen, and let's see what sticks. We don't know. Who knows? Who cares? They're going to buy this anyways. It's for kids. They don't care. They're stupid. We all remember where I said we were going to discuss my feelings on Netflix movies. It's time. They have yet to make anything that is truly fantastic. Outside of a film that could have been on the best list, the Meyerowitz Tales, New and Selected, that's about the extent of the good that Netflix has done with their films. You Get Me might be the worst one of all. Let's take Fatal Attraction, and let's make it, set in a high school, and let's take the stakes and let's lower them, and let's up the psychosis a bit, and put terrible actors in this thing. Well, that's what they did here, and it doesn't work. It's not cool. It's not fun. It doesn't even have a bit of any tongue-in-cheek in it at all. It takes itself way too seriously, and it all just falls flat on its face. If you sat through this one, I'm sorry, and if you think it's a good film, you're probably wrong. It's bad. So I had the huge honor of going to the San Diego International Film Festival in October, and I saw a lot of great films. Films we're going to talk about in the best of list, and Killing Gunther was not one of them. In fact, it's the opposite. It's awful. Taran Killam directs this, and I don't know what the hell he's doing, but it's just a cluster of absolute stupidity. There's satire, and then there is what this is, and this is useless. It tries to make fun of action movie tropes, and it doesn't do it well. It's not executed well enough to really be sharp enough to be satire. Instead, this just comes off as a guy trying to play in a sandbox when all the sand is wet with piss. Because that's what he did. He just pissed all over this thing. It's not good. In fact, I don't know what he's doing, Taran Killam, here. Perhaps his next project will be better, but, if you liked it, cool. I just didn't. And Arnold Schwarzenegger's wasted. Cool, so let's take a bunch of caliber actors and let's just waste them in an action movie that's just dumb. Oh my god, we took 2 Oscar winners in Ben Kingsley and Anthony Hopkins. We took another nominee and we just threw them away and said, here's our action movie. It's really not well produced and it's cheap. That's what we wanted, and that's what we got. Collide is awful. Collide could have probably been good if they'd have put a little more money into it, a little more production value, perhaps gotten a better director who doesn't look like he's possibly doing so while blindfolded. There was some potential. No, I'm kidding. There's no potential for this film. It's awful. It's awful. When you have the dialogue that this movie does, it's just a waste of good talent, is what it is. So, of course, before we get to number 1, let's talk about the movies that just barely missed out on being called the worst of 2017. I've got 3 of them here, and let's start with Bouquet. It was... Oh, God. It takes place in Iceland, and this couple, they're the only people, air quotes, alive after some cataclysmic event that we have no idea what happened. It sucks. We have the space between, which logically is flawed as you can get. It makes no sense. And then we have Resident Evil, the final chapter, and the only reason it didn't make the list is because it's the final chapter, and I don't have to watch any more of these pieces of crap. I got so happy about that, I kind of let it slip that, maybe this isn't the worst one of them all, which it isn't, but by God am I happy that I don't have to watch another one. Without further ado, though, we talked about these 3 crap fests long enough. Let's get to the worst movie of the year, and I don't think any of you know what we're about to talk about, and if you saw this movie, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. let's get to it. So, what film is it that is the absolute worst cinematic abomination of the year 2017? Well, it had to be, without a doubt, Arsenal. Thank you, Nicolas Cage. Once again, your overacting and wonderful craziness has led us to this. Adrian Grenier should probably not do anything else, because he's bad. Nicolas Cage is bad. This whole movie as one coalesced picture is bad. It's just terrible. The script makes no sense. The character motivations lack. It's not well shot. There's some bogus CGI and some absolute crap bullet time that looked like, honestly, how does The Matrix look better than this movie when it took place almost 20 years ago? I don't understand what was going on here, but I know what Nicolas Cage was thinking. All he saw was the dollar signs, and all the people making this film saw was, let's just try to put something out there and see what happens. But what they put out there was absolute crap. Arsenal is the worst movie of 2017. You shouldn't go anywhere near it, and honestly, if you bothered to spend an hour and a half in this world, you're going to want your money back even if you didn't pay for it. Right, and so that's the list. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, a like, whatever. Share it all over social media. If you didn't like it, I don't care. You can complain in this comment section. That's what it's for. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Film Snob Reviews. You know where we're at. If you're not subscribing already, what are you doing? We're going to start using this more often. Look for our cinematic breakdown. We're going to dissect a movie of your choosing. If you haven't voted yet, vote on Twitter, vote on Instagram. You can pick either one. We'd love to have, there's 4 choices you can pick from, and, you know, we're going to pull the movie apart and talk about it. Look for the best of list coming up here real soon. And also, middle of this week, we're going to be doing our Oscar predictions. I really, really wanted to wait till I saw Phantom Thread. I finally did that, so you guys can check that out when it happens. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm William, of course, from Film Snob Reviews, and for everybody here that works with us, thank you so much, and see you at the movies.